Welcome to class 16 of business environment. Today we are going to discuss regarding the components of legal environment. So every legal provisions which are applicable to the society is applicable to business also, because business is a part of society. So whatever is applicable to society, so it is also applicable to business. So there are some laws. So laws like civil law, criminal laws and their procedures, so that are applicable to business. So business has to function whatever it is given in civil and criminal laws and their procedure, whatever is given there, so according to that the business has to function. So business is an important organ of society, or we can say it is a part of a society. So there are some specific laws, specific or the machineries or the authorities which are going to govern it, so that are created to regulate the functioning of business. So business is a part of society, and that part of society is a very important part of society, we can say. So for that there are some specific laws, there are some specific authorities for what? To create or to regulate the functions of business. So purpose of business is to make profit, okay, but business has to make profit within the legal parameters of defined by the society and the constitution. So which mean the business main intention is to make profit, but whatever it is given in the law or whatever the legal things are there, around that you have to perform, okay. So whatever it is given in the provisions, so according to that you have to act. So business has to satisfy the provisions of various laws to ensure a legal and just business. So just means a fair, so legal thing, okay. So there are some components, so they are promotional things, or for each and every activity of business, so there is a law or act governing it, or the legal things which is going to govern it. So promotion, so it is a business activity, and to promote the company or the business, so there are some act which governs that. So like Companies Act 1956, Contract Act 1872, Factories Act 1948, Environment Protection Act 1985. So these are the acts which are going to govern in the promotion activity of the business. The next is organization. Organization is also the component of, or we can say activity of business, and which relates, or the law which relates to that is Competition Act, FEMA Regulation Act, Trademark Act, Income Tax, so which governs the organization activity. So then comes the financing activity. So for financing also there are some several legal requirements or the machineries which are going to control you. So that is Security Contract Act, SEBI, RBI, Banking Regulation Act. So these are the legal things which are going to govern. The next is marketing thing. So marketing activity is governed by Essential Commodity, Consumer Protection Act, Sales Tax. So the next is labor. So Minimum Wage Act, Payment of Wage Act, ESI Act, so etc. So these are the components of your legal environment. The next is linkage between legal environment and business. Okay, business has to be legal. What does it mean? Whatever objectives and activities what the business is going to set, so that should not be out of the act which it is going to govern, or it should not be against the provisions which are there. Okay, so its objectives and activities must be within the limitation prescribed by the various laws, so that are applicable to the particular business. So every stage of business that it forms the stage of promotion and its management, and also till its liquidation process. So it is been governed by some provisions relevant laws. Okay, provisions of relevant laws. So from the starting point to the end of it, so there is something which is been governed, right? So here from the stage of promotion till the end, which means the liquidation process, the aspects, each and every act of business, activity of business is being governed or carried out as per the provisions which is relevant or provisions of a relevant laws. Okay, so these various laws and legal machineries so have been created for what? So this is created to protect the interest of business and to ensure its health, or we can say healthy growth in the interest of society. So why all these rules are made? So it's simply to protect the society and the main part of the society, so that is the business. Okay, to ensure the developed growth of business, healthy growth of business, and to protect the interest of society. So at every stage of activity there is an implication of law. Okay, so at every stage, so in every activities, and these laws and machineries have been designed to ensure the legal conduct of business in the interest of society. So why there is a law or implication of law in each and every stage of business? So it is just because to see that the business is going to conduct its activity in a legal manner. Okay, and the next is role of government. Okay, so what all role does the government is going to play? So first it is going to play as a regulator, right? It is going to play as a regulator. So what does it regulates? So government regulates what? Economic activity. Here economic activity means nothing but, economic activity is nothing but it is a business activity. Okay, so how it regulates? It is going to regulate in a two form. It may be direct or it may be indirect. So direct in sense of balance of payment, indirect in sense of your monetary policy, your fiscal policy, etc. Okay, so it has a regulations of two types. It may be new, it may be old. So new means it is going to focus or more concentrates on law. Old is nothing, sorry, new is going to be, you are going to concentrate more on the product or the social benefits. Okay, so the production, something like that. The old means only the rules. The next is as a promoter. So both in developed and developing economy, the state or the government is going to play a role as a promoter. So why it is going to play as a role as a promoter? So government's responsibility is to develop infrastructure and that is necessary for the development of business. Okay, so what is the main responsibility of government? To develop infrastructure, and that infrastructure is mainly needed by what? The business. So what are those? So like your power, transport, finance, communication, water, etc. So these are the basic infrastructure which needed by the industries to develop it. Okay, so who is going to take such initiatives to provide all these things? The government. So government is directly responsible for developing infrastructure and that is needed for the development of business. The next is as an entrepreneur. So government may assume a role of entrepreneur by what? Promoting public sector enterprises, underdeveloped and developing economies, so which have poor per capita income, so which cannot attract the private investments, particularly in the core industries. Okay, so government itself has to take the initiative in promoting such ventures. So this Ventures are established to achieve the economic growth and also avoid the consumer exploitation. So it functions as an entrepreneur by what? Establishing, operating and bearing. So why it is going to bear the risk? So you cannot get an adequate things, right? So adequate returns you cannot get it very quickly. So in such case what happens? There is a risk. The next is as a state planner. So state as a planner or a planning role we can say. So government can play an active role by undertaking economic planning for entire nation. So these economic plans determines the economic objectives, policies, goals, investment, priorities, strategies, etc. And these plan documents government gives direction to the business in public and private sector. So as to what should be the economic agenda of society. Thank you.